All right then. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video on Inscription. This is the final boss fight of Act 1, so all due spoilers apply. If you don't know Inscription, please check it out. It's absolutely a blooming amazing game. I'm doing something I wouldn't typically do, and I'm recording my voice over the clip, partly because watching this plain vanilla video alone probably wouldn't be worth the 20 minutes in its own regard, but mostly because I screwed up and recorded the original gameplay whilst filming it, so that's a whoops. I could either reconstruct the build and re-record the whole thing, or I could just tape over everything and call it a day. Right, so here you see that I won the two boons. Typically, I would go for ambidextrous and magpie. Those are the two strongest ones in my view. But I want to do something a little different here, so I picked magpie and boon of the forest. All right, now let's go and troll Leshy again. I'm sure it won't come as a surprise to anybody watching this, but it's another fecundity exploit. And you know what's better than a fecundity exploit? Yep, two fecundity exploits. Mwah-ah-ah. Green giant. Yep, so as I mentioned, there are two fecundity exploits going on here. One is on the bug totem. I'm playing with bees instead of squirrels here, but they're not pivotal in this. If you don't know what fecundity is, it's a sigil that makes a copy of a card in your hand when it's played on the board. So aside from the smoke and the tentacle monster, everything else in my hand right now is bugs. Okay. Hit the bell, ding, I've got a wall of trees and that's enough for now, and donk. Right, so now my magpie boon kicks in and it's already game over for Leshy. You'll see that there's a cockroach card with 3 sigils in it, its own fecundity, a corpse eater, and an unkillable one. And next to that, you can see a death card. I dubbed him Handy Andy, and I'm going to save him until the end for the money shot. I'm not sure where he got the magpie sigil from because he doesn't fly, so he's not actually a magpie, but I'm trying to take a moment here to figure out how to waste cards effectively. So basically, I'm trying to throw a few cards away for, well, my own sanity. I could have just left the smoke down for all the difference it makes. The beehive will be instantly destroyed by that amalgam. It obviously doesn't attack of its own regards, so it's all intents and purposes the same as the smoke, except it gives me a bee. Because if there's one thing I need, it's more bees. And bonk. Now that OP cockroach kicks in, and look at that totem go. It's a photocopier. Oh, Leshy's attacks do absolutely nothing. So every time a cockroach is killed, 3 more sprout up to replace it. Because why the hell not? I pick another card, it really doesn't matter. This cockroach photocopier is basically the world's slowest auto battler. Yeah, so I pick up the fleece, and it's not even as suboptimal as it could be, to be honest. So I play the beehive again here. I think it's like before. I'm actually trying to slow my victory down a little bit. Perhaps it would have been easier to put the beehive in column number 1 next to the bell, so the mantis god could have come on a turn sooner. But really, time isn't an issue here. what? The bees! The bees! Buzz, 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 buzz. So the bees are self-replicating too, I think, thanks to the totem. To be honest, I don't really care. I think I left the smoke later, since a 1-1 bee works out better than, say, the other smoke or even the pelts. Receiving one-hit kills is more important than anything here. Leshy is about to enter the pelt trader in a moment. Bump. Mole Man is dead, and so is Leshy's whole front line. Look at that tentacle monster. Oh, it's got the same power as Handy Andy in that its attack is equal to my hand size, so I've got 31 cards in my hand right now. And I can trade my 2 pelts for 2 of Leshy's cards, so who am I going to remove from the board, do you reckon? Yep, I removed the amalgam and the adder. Pretty much the opposite of what I would do in a real game, because frankly, screw Leshy. I want my cockroaches to get hit. That's kind of the point. One is generally the best for exploring build types, maybe Act 2, but in Act 2 you've got 4 separate systems in a trench coat, and it all kind of gets blurred around the edges. Literally, the low fidelity design really hurt my eyes after a while, but there's a pretty well-known exploit in Act 2 involving a training dummy. Great for leveling the Ouroboros, got mine into the hundreds, which completely broke Act 3's economy. Gold! Or not. No gold for you today, Prospector. And doop. Just like that, phase 1 is beat. Yeah, so I should probably explain why I'm getting 3 cockroaches per kill in case it isn't clear. So a few things are happening. First things first, the dead card is recycled, so it re-enters my hand instead of being discarded. So that's the first whoop you hear while there's still a gap on the table. The glowing corpse eater sigil, which is kind of like the dark mark from Harry Potter, I guess. Yeah, well, when one of my cards is killed, it auto plays to that spot. So I lose a card off the board, and yet another cockroach jumps out of my hand into the gap immediately. And lastly, those 2 fecundity sigils side by side with the mice on them. They state when a card is played, a duplicate is put in my hand. Except these cockroaches have 2 of them. One on the card and the other one from the bug totem. So clunk whoop, prints 2 more. So 1 card is played, 2 more get printed, and the dead card returns to my hand. So basically, I'm getting 3 cards in my hand for the price of 1. Not bad, really, is it? Just to add insult to injury here, the cockroach that Leshy just stole in the angler phase also returned to my hand when I killed it. And goodbye, Kaminsky. I guess you tried, I suppose. So another trader phase. I've only got the 1 pelt now, and I'm going to claim Louis. He goes underwater, so I can't actually hit him. My cockroach might as well be a bee for all the good it does. And I figured another dead contestant would probably enter the empty file, and sure enough, Wild Casey appears. So most of these are NPC death cards that came with the game. The player generates a death card each failed run, in case you didn't know. A bit like Handy Andy, who is in my deck that you saw earlier. You see coming onto file 2, we've got Smelly Shelly. She's my third favourite in this batch, I guess. Not particularly strong, but I like her. She's fun. She's basically a skunk with extra HP. Maybe I'll tell the story of some of these death cards I generated some other time. I've basically been trying to challenge myself to create a death card with 4 sigils on it. Haven't quite managed to accomplish that yet, but you know, I'm stubborn, so... Oh, Prospector coming up. Gold! There's gold in them there, roaches! Wait, ain't no gold in them there, roaches, it's just more roaches! Ah! Like I was saying, the double glowing sigil on the cockroach card comes from infusing the roach with another death card that I made. His name was Hugh, short for hubris. I was making another trolling Leshy video with the corpse eater and fecundity symbol smushed together, and basically I got cocky and lost. But I was lucky enough to be given the chance to preserve the pair in a death card, so I named it Hugh, so I don't forget. Also had a bunch of fleeces, I think, so his in that run, so his cost ended up being 0. He's ridiculously OP because you can fill the board with him and still have one in your hand. He does something silly like 4 HP damage or whatever. Basically, he's my second favourite death card. Yeah, half the fun of Inscription is just making overpowered card combos. It's a lot of fun. Definitely worth trying out if you haven't already. But if you're watching this, you probably already know the game. We'll just keep on going. Yeah, I don't think I've drawn attention to it yet, but look at my hand. It's so ridiculously broken, it's actually starting to glitch. I think it can't decide on a magnification, so I can't really do anything but riff through the damn thing and hope for the best. I'm looking for one of those bees. It's kind of academic at this. Ooh, oh, saw one. Never mind. I can't scroll back left. Yep, and boom. Phase 2 of Act 1 final boss done. So, if you don't know the finale to Act 1, here comes a little twist. Your final phase of the boss is the actual moon. Why the hell not? Well, this begs a question that literally nobody has ever asked. Who would win in a fight? The actual moon or 4 jacked up cockroaches? Yeah, maybe I should, I don't know, do a build with like 4 snapper turtles inspired by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Maybe that could be fun. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really say anything about this earlier, but this is the plain vanilla original card set. I don't know much about the modding scene, but I know it exists, and there are some pretty nifty looking alterations to be found. If you've got any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. I'm kind of trying to ignore the state of my deck. This is exactly what I wanted, and I get what I deserve. I literally have named a card Hubris, and I still don't seem to have learned any lessons in humility, so more fool me. Well, the moon looks impressive, but it's not actually difficult. So if you've got a poison card, like an adder, you could literally one-shot the moon. If you've got a smelly card, like a stink bug Grimora or a skunk, stunk or smelly shelly, it literally becomes powerless and just sits there until you get its health down to 0. Yeah, this bit's slow, and you kind of get the picture at this point. I'm going to take my time and draw it out. So let's skip it a little bit. Okay, so it's down to the wire now. I've got one bell ding to go. I left the corpse maggots just to the side in case it spawned on the board with the sigil and ruined my mojo somehow. They're basically the same sigil. I don't know how it prioritizes them in this situation, but I wouldn't worry too much. Now it's time for Handy Andy to come out my hand and onto the board, and I just need to find him somehow. Hang on. Yep. That is super glitched. And probably the piles of bones 25 high won't be helping much, but I guess we'll get there. They've come into my hand in order, so I've just got to reach the right-hand side of my hand, though. It's a really satisfying riffle sound, isn't it? Just riffing through the cards. Hang on a minute. Right, it's oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. This is fine. Yeah, this is fine. So, how was your day? Yikes. This is completely balk. Help. Just pretty much clicking at random now. Oh, wait, no, there we go. Everything's fine. Yep, did it first time. Nailed it. Perfect. 195 damage. Imagine if I claimed teeth with this. Pray tell, why are you like this? The magnificent stunted wolf is going to passive aggress me for leaving the film spool in situ. I need the spool to progress to Act 2. I'm not interested in that at the moment. And the money shot. And Leshy is done with my BS. And I guess I add yet another victory card to his door. Now, if only someone would pick up that film reel, eh? Yeah, basically, mate, I can keep doing this for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. You should be very proud of yourself. Normally, a proper YouTuber would say like and subscribe, but I'm not a proper YouTuber, so